What's going on, YouTube? We are back in here for another one. I hope you're enjoying your day so far. So we had the Game Awards 2023 last night, and something pretty interesting happened at those Game Awards. I don't watch Game Awards, right? So I wouldn't have known about this if it wasn't brought to me. I'm at a point now where if anything interesting enough happens at the Game Awards, somebody will let me know. At some point, somebody will be like, hey man, you got to check out this trailer for this game or whatever it is, right? I do not watch the Game Awards, and I never will watch the Game Awards because the console war soldier nerds use this to fuel their console warring. I got to tell you, man, before I get started on what I'm about to talk about, you console war soldiers that are still soldiering in a war that doesn't even exist in 2023 are the biggest embarrassment in gaming. Y'all are pathetic little bitches, man, obsessing over this shit, how toxic you get about it. You do anything to destroy the other console, the other company. Dude, you are probably the biggest nerds in this fucking galaxy. Even a bigger nerd than a 50-year-old bald dude that can't come up with his own content. He stalks Twitter all day and all he can do is pay attention to what everybody else is doing and talk shit. You are the most heavily virginated nerds I've ever seen in my life, and it's only a shame that you have access to the internet and we gotta see this bullshit on it daily. But anyways, enough of that. As you guys can tell, man, I'm so sick and tired of these console war soldiers, dude. I don't follow any of these bitches. None of these little pussy beta males out here talking this shit. I don't pay attention to none of them. But all their shit is always in my timeline over there on Twitter. I gotta see it. So of course I'm gonna let a virgin know that he's a 40-year-old virgin. You know, this shit pisses me off, man. I love Xbox. I love Sony. I love PlayStation. I used to be a huge Nintendo guy growing up, man. Just let the consoles breathe, dude. We need competition. The more competition we have, the better it is for us as customers. But anyways, enough of that shit. So Christopher Judge, the dude that plays Kratos over there in God of War, he had a pretty long speech, to my understanding, at the Game Awards last year. So he was presenting or something like that. I'm not going to put the clip in here just in case, so I'm just going to explain it to you guys. But he was on the mic, and he takes a little jab at Call of Duty. Just an innocent little joke. He makes the joke that his speech wasn't going to be as long as his speech last year, but it was still going to be longer than the Call of Duty Modern Warfare Deuce and Half campaign. And I thought that shit was funny as hell because it's the truth. He has every right to be critical of that campaign. And that's not him taking a jab at the devs, though. That's him taking a jab at Activision. We all know the story by now. If he actually bought that game, if he's a paying customer, he bought Modern Warfare Deuce and Half, he has every right to be critical of that whack-ass campaign because that shit was unacceptable. And we got Call of Duty devs out here getting all butthurt and sensitive about it. Ex-devs, current devs, I seen one of them bringing up metrics, talking about Call of Duty sales year after year. Listen, man, Call of Duty is like fucking crack to these kids out here. Call of Duty sells well every single year. It's the best or one of the best selling games. I'm sure we can all agree at this point, Call of Duty is not the best game year after year, man. It's just, like I said, it's crack to these kids out here, man. It's multiplayer crack in the form of a video game. So y'all keep selling it like crazy. This shit ain't the best thing on the market. What the fuck are you guys talking about? And why are you getting so sensitive about this goddamn comment from a fucking actor for God of War? There's another one sensitive as hell trying to appeal to his humanity or some shit, man. They're talking about how they hear way worse on a daily from the community, but they never expected to hear this from a peer, a quote-unquote peer, right? Because the peer is supposed to be above all of us who criticize the game that we pay for, right? We buy a game, we pay full price for a game. We pay more than full price for a game. The game drops, it's buggy, it's broken as hell, it's loaded with fucking problems, and we criticize it, man. Now, some people take it way too far, 100%. Those people don't deserve access to the internet either. They go way too far with this shit. But yes, we criticize the product that we paid for, the product that you guys are pushing out with time constraints from Activision. Even in that comment where he's trying to appeal to Christopher Judge humanity, right? Like, he even says that everybody knows the struggles they had with development on this game. Everybody knows that at this point. He's taking a jab at Activision. And the big dogs, the big nerds at Activision knew they didn't have to care because this was going to be Microsoft's problem now. Listen, I get it. Sledgehammer Games, you guys did what you could, man. You had your 14, 16 months, whatever it is, and I'm surprised you guys put together what you put together. It is a complete DLC, 100%. Nobody's going to tell me otherwise. Same UI as Modern Warfare Deuce. Shit, it's the same file. You just add some files to it. It is the same base game as Modern Warfare Deuce. All OG Modern Warfare 2 maps. No original streaks in there whatsoever. You got a couple of guns that came with the game. Like, the game is a DLC. And I'm still surprised you guys were able to put out what you were able to put out. And I actually enjoy it as much as I do when I'm not being fucked over with the bullshit and the nonsense and that cheese. So I understand the situation. I sympathize with Sledgehammer Games. That being said, this shit is still unacceptable. Activision's at fault for that, and they need to be called out. Now, even though I think it's absolutely pathetic these devs are crying about this shit, I understand it to a point because it's something that they worked hard on. Activision put them at a complete disadvantage. Activision put them in a lose-lose situation, and they did the best that they could. So I feel like this dude is shitting on their career. They're shitting on their work. I kind of understand it to a point. What I don't understand is we have Barry Sloan out here calling Christopher Judge a clown for that comment. Now, Barry Sloan is the dude that acts as Captain Price in these newer Modern Warfare games, right? He's the newer, younger Captain Price. And like I've said in videos before, I think they couldn't have picked a more perfect person for that role. I think he plays a great Captain Price in these newer games, regardless of what I think of the campaigns, which I think the first two were good. Modern Warfare Deuce and Half, you guys know how I feel about that campaign. I think he's a great Captain Price. Dude might have the thinnest skin I've ever seen out here for any type of voice actor or any type of actor in a video game, whatever it is. Dude, like, didn't he go after Blame Truth or something like that before for talking shit about Call of Duty? Like, why are you even talking, Barry? Like, what the fuck do you got to say? You're calling this dude a clown? You're making fun of him because he's also an actor just like you? You have no creativity going on with this franchise. You just do what you're told. You might tell the director if they tell you, okay, turn your head to the left 90 degrees in this scene. You might be like, well, I think Captain Price will only turn his head to the left 70 degrees, man. Or I think at this point, I think Captain Price, if he was really in this situation, he would say Raj instead of Roger. And the director might be like, all right, go ahead, go with that. Go with Raj. Like, why are you even talking, dude? You really going to take offense to this? Are you really trying to defend mediocrity that they're charging full price for? Less than mediocrity for full price? Because if you played the campaign, even though I know you probably put everything into it, you put your heart and soul into that role, you did everything you could with what you had. If you played that campaign, you know that shit is unacceptable for the price. And that's not taking a jab at Sledgehammer Games. That is all on Activision. But you're out here running your mouth talking shit. That's like me going to a job and I'm halfway through the job. My boss calls me up and say, hey, put it all away. I need you over here on this job. First off, I'm going to stay and finish that job. You know, if I'm on the job, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to stay and finish that job. Now, I know what I'm talking about and what you guys had to deal with Activision is a little bit different. So I'm going to stay and I'm going to do that job regardless of what my boss said. I don't care how mad he gets. But let's say I do it. I leave the job half completed. The customer's mad as hell. The customer is going at my boss. I'm going to side with the customer. I don't give a shit what my boss thinks because my boss is in the wrong. That job should have been completed, especially if we took their money. So why the fuck are you out here talking, dude? Why do you even care, man? You put your time in. That's your role. You own that shit. You're good in that role as Captain Price, and you're out here talking shit. You've been talking shit to creators before. Now you're talking shit to Christopher Judge, who might have paid for the game, and he was making an innocent little joke because the campaign was so short. It's unacceptable for the price. I don't see anything wrong with what Christopher Judge said. Maybe he could have picked a better place to do it at, but still, I don't have a problem with what he said. And I don't know why the fuck you're talking. But anyways, that's all I got in this one. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you on that next one.